It began with the impossible. Detective Lewis Morgan of the Baltimore Police Department leaned over the body of Lawrence Halpern, a 58-year-old accountant, found dead in his locked office on the 15th floor of the LexCorp building. His liver had been cleanly removed with surgical precision. There were no signs of forced entry. The door had been locked from the inside. The only window, a narrow vertical plane, was too small for even a child to crawl through.
"Third one, this month," said her partner, Detective David Cox. "Same MO, liver gone. No witness, no prints, just nothing." Lewis's sharp blue eyes scanned the room. So either we're dealing with a magician or a ghost, or something even worse, David muttered, flipping through his notes. Lewis turned toward the crime scene techs. "Check every vent, every duct. I want to know if a mouse could have squeezed through the place." 2 days later, the FBI sent a liaison, Special Agent Elias Tarrant. He was tall, calm, and unsettling in his presence. His file said he worked in behavioral sciences, but his vibe felt different. Lewis didn't like the outsiders, but there was something about the way Tarrant studied the crime scene photos that made her pause. 3 murders in 28 days, he said. All in locked rooms. All missing a liver. It matches a pattern I've seen before. Lewis frowned. "There's no pattern." "There is," he replied softly. "Every 30 years from 1915 onward, Baltimore has 5 identical murders. Always in spring. Always involving the liver. The last string was in 1985. You're saying this is a serial killer? One who's been active for over a century? I'm saying something has survived a long time by doing one specific thing very well." Lewis gave him a skeptical look. "Are you here to help or pitch a horror novel?" Tarrant's eyes didn't waver. "I'm here to stop a predator that has been feeding for generations." The forensic report was chilling. Tiny smudges of something oily were found on the inside of the air duct, grate in Halpern's office, about 5 feet off the ground and just 8 inches wide. No human could fit through there, unless they weren't fully human. Tarrant shared an old newspaper clipping from 1930, a photo of a man named Silas Gray, wanted for a string of cannibalistic murders. The photo showed a gaunt, long-limbed man with eyes like black marbles. His case file claimed he escaped through the vents, and he was believed to be of non-standard physiology. "Fiction," Lewis scoffed. "Old-timey pulp." Tarrant didn't smile, or documentation nobody took seriously. Later that night, Lewis stayed up, combing archived case files from the 50s and 80s. The names were different. The MO was identical. Always a locked room. Always the liver. Always no suspect. It wasn't pulp. It was a pattern. Their break came from a janitor at the Conway Tower, site of the second murder. "I saw someone," said the man, clearly shaken. "Real early, maybe 3 a.m. Thing was crawling out the vent like a damn insect. I thought it was some prank, but then it turned and looked at me. He went pale. It had these yellow eyes, and its arms too long, like it didn't have any bones." "Could you describe it more specifically?" Tarrant asked. "Like a man, but wrong. Rubber skin, no clothes, just slick like a frog or something." They pulled footage from a backup camera in the hallway. At 2:59 a.m., A shadow crept across the ceiling tiles. Too fast, too sinuous. Lewis leaned closer to the monitor. That's not a shadow. That's it. Tarrant nodded. He's still hungry. They pulled old records. Every 30 years, the same crimes, the same eerie descriptions. A man no one could catch. The name changed over the years. Silas Gregg, Erza Toll, Harlem Vade. But the face, identical. Over 100 years. Lois dug deeper, obsessed now. These weren't just legends. These were suppressed cases, shuffled into obscurity by terrified investigators who couldn't explain what they saw. The term contortionist came up. Subhuman musculature, regenerative biology. David called it a sick joke. Tarrant called it evolution gone feral. There are others out there who know, Tarrant said one night, but they don't talk. They've seen what it does, what it is. Why now? Lois asked. Why every 30 years? Tarrant sighed. My guess, it hibernates. Stores of strength, like a cicada. Except when it emerges, it feeds. They set a trap. Lewis volunteered to stay alone in a replica office designed to match the profile of the victims. Middle-aged, sedentary, liver rich. She stayed late, lights off, pretending to work. The ventilation was wired with silent motion sensors. Tarrant and David waited across the hall with eyes on every camera. At 2:47 a.m., the vent above Lewis's desk vibrated. Her hand went to the gun under the table. A soft, wet sound echoed. Then, a hand, long, gray, white, slid out from the vent like a snake. Lois froze. Then the face followed. Eyes like burning coals in a sunken to pale skull. The thing slithered halfway out, then stopped, cocking its head at her. She fired. It screamed a shrill, animal sound, and shot back into the duct. Tarrant and David were already sprinting in. We got it on 3 cameras, David shouted. What the hell was that? Not human, Tarrant said, but very much alive. They chased it through the building, following torn duct panels and oily residue. It moved impossibly fast, bypassing locked doors and stairwells by sliding through the structure itself. Lois, furious and wide-eyed, realized it wasn't just smart, it was ancient. They cornered it in the boiler room. It stood there, barely breathing, naked and sinewy, with eyes too deep and teeth too sharp. Silas Gregg, Tarrant said calmly. The creature hissed. Its voice was wet gravel. That name is gone. I am what remains. What are you? Lois demanded. It smiled. Once a man, now necessity. The world rots. I live on. You eat to survive, she asked, shaken. I take the liver. It is clean. The world poisons everything else. You've killed hundreds, Tarrant said. I have endured. I was born and felt in a mine beneath the earth. My body adapts. Yours perishes. I evolve. Lois raised her gun. Then evolution ends tonight. It lunged. They fired. It took 15 rounds before the creature dropped, twitching, then still. Tarrant walked up and placed a final bullet between its yellow eyes. The FBI took the body. No records, no autopsy, no press release. We called them Hollow Men. Taryn told her later, every few decades, one shows up. Could be a mutation, could be something else. Every time we kill one, another emerges somewhere else eventually. There are more of them, Lewis whispered. He looks tired. Maybe not yet, but something like this doesn't happen once. And what happens to this case? Taryn smiled sadly. You forget it. That's the price. I can't. You will. 2 weeks later, in an office building in Philadelphia, a janitor swore he saw something moving in the ceiling. Just a shadow, but the vent grill bore fresh, oily prints. If you enjoyed the video, like and share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.